Stop, you guys. Stop. That's too much. That's too much. You're far too kind. I've worked my whole life for this very moment. Every detail I've planned, including, I said, make the set look like the final level of Donkey Kong. Can you please? I want the crowd to know that that's where you put the fire guy, right in that hole, and then you work your way up to the top and save the princess. That's a lie. That's a lie. Everything you'll hear in your life is a lie. That's just the truth. We lie so much as humans, we actually have to tell other people when we're not lying anymore. Someone asks you for your opinion, what do you think? You're like, well, if I'm being honest. And then you f***ing lie anyway. Like animals make one singular noise, either moo or meow. If humans made one noise, it would be this bullshit. Some people lie about their jobs just to make themselves feel better about what they do. I upset a bartender because I called him bartender. And he marched on over all angry and he said, no, I am a mixologist. Well, mix me a Budweiser, mother. Can you do that? Professor? I'm not a comedian, I'm a nuclear shits and gigglist. All liars. You guys are all liars. You know that, right? You're sitting in the comfortable exit row of the airplane, and then the stewardess, or by the way, that's another person that lies about their jobs. Stewardesses. First they were stewardesses, then they were like, no, we're flight attendants. Then I heard a pilot on a recent flight say this, please see one of our uniformed agents. Hold up, uniformed agents? What are you, SHIELD? So the sky whore comes over. And she always has to lecture you. You're sitting in the exit row. Does this mean you're willing and able to help out all the other people first before yourself in case of an emergency? Well, who says no to this shit? I know in your head you're like, oh, I like the legroom, but these people. No, but out loud you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help all these other people first. You bet you I'm gonna help all Air Marshal Ogata checking in for duty. Click clack. You know who should lie about their jobs? Nightclub DJs. Ugh. Nightclub DJs. They don't contribute any new art to the world. They take someone else's art, put it on, and they're like, look at that. Always handing you flyers, come to my show. Oh, your show? You don't have a show, you're playing someone else's show. Shut up, you asshole. Here's how you know it's a bogus job. Sometimes they have guest celebrity DJs. And sometimes the guest celebrity DJ is a talentless hoe like Paris Hilton. Ugh. If Paris Hilton can show up and guest celebrity do your job is bullshit. I don't want to be in the ER with a ruptured appendix and the nurse is like, oh my God, you are in for a treat. Your guest celebrity surgeon is Paris Hilton. Ah! I'm pulling wires out. Kill me now, kill me now. That's the first biggest bullshit job in the world. Second biggest bullshit job, life coach. Ugh. Life coach. They don't help you through anything. They just spout off cliches that they read on Pinterest. How am I gonna get through this? Don't worry, Paul, cream always rises to the top. Oh. Well, turds float too sometimes, now what? That's all people are going to do to you is lie to you. And if they're not lying to you, they're trying to deceive you anyway by giving you too much information and try to bury the facts behind that. Used to be in the old days, there was a show called The News, just a show. 30 minutes. And in a pleasant voice, the guy told you in as few words as possible what happened that day. Good evening. These things occurred. Good night. Now it's 24/7. It's not even one network. It's 7 networks of news, more news than you need, just over and over. The people aren't even happy anymore. They're angry. They're just news. They're yelling at you because they're pissed off because they're telling you the same 4 stories 12 times an hour. News. And if that's not enough, how about as I'm telling you news, there's a crawl of news across the top of the screen. News. How about as I'm telling you news and you're reading news, there's number news going in the opposite direction. News, number news. How's about all this news is going on? You're seeing a table of news on the side of my head telling me what to news, number news. And you're trying to follow along. What's happening, Paul? I don't know. I think it's a story on ADD. Everything's a lie. Your government lies to you on the daily, every day, all the time. That's the 2 major functions of government: provide street lights and lie to you. So the government does. The government, oh my God, the government's always like, marijuana is so bad for you. We've made it illegal across the entire country. You cannot have it anywhere except Colorado and Washington. Very safe for you there, apparently. Smoke as much as you want. But the rest of the country, you cannot have it unless you have a medical condition. And we don't just give that card to anybody. They give it to everybody. You just have to go to a doctor and do what you do best. F***ing lie. You have to roll in there, limping or something, with some unverifiable malady and be like, I have headaches. And they're like, oh, marijuana, try that. I'm sad. Oh, cheer up. Look, marijuana. I'm convinced you could be in there like, I'm constipated. And they're like, oh, marijuana. What happens? I don't know. It doesn't cure your constipation. You just don't give a shit in 2 different ways now. And in fact, I know I have to be very afraid of Ebola because the government tells me not to be afraid of Ebola. They're always trying to downplay the symptoms, and it's the worst disease known to mankind. It liquefies you from the inside, but the government is always like, calm down, here are the symptoms. Stomach pains and diarrhea. Oh, is that it? Just tummy ache and poopy pants? So all through kindergarten, I had Ebola? Is that what you're saying? Don't worry, America. No one in here in this country can ever get Ebola. What's that? Oh, okay. Only one person ever can get Ebola. What's that? 2 more? Only 3 people can ever get Ebola. It will always be a small odd number and a prime number. Calm down, America. And I know the media is complicit in this sham, because every time they run a story on Ebola, they have to show you that picture of the microscopic Ebola virus. Like that's going to help us. Somebody's like, does that guy have Ebola? You're like, I don't know. Show me the pictures of the people who are going to where there's Ebola and bring it back to where I do not have Ebola. I don't give a shit that the Ebola virus looks like a well-hung ampersand. The government's always like, calm down, you're scaring yourself. Stop saying Ebola, it's a scary word. Say it like the cough drop on TV. Ebola! It's all bullshit. My marriage started with a lie. We were dating and my wife said, if we get married, I'll bear all the sons you ever wanted. And I was like, awesome. So we got married. Here we are, 12 years later, no children. And so I asked her recently, do you think we should start on our family right now? And she said, I don't want to quit drinking and smoking. What the you're supposed to drink and smoke when you're pregnant. All right, you young people have no idea. But back in the day when I was in school, all the kids in my class had parents who drank and smoked when they were pregnant with us. And guess what I didn't have? In my whole school, a peanut allergy. It didn't exist. Parents these days are busy eating holistic, organic, vegan food, and they're cranking out babies that are allergic to bread. Bread! Are you shitting me? Bread? For thousands of years, that's how civilizations began, because of the ability of humans to make and eat bread. But now you're telling me mysteriously we're like, is that a crouton? You're supposed to drink and smoke when you're pregnant. That way the nicotine and the alcohol molecules bond with your double helix, and when allergies come by, your body is just like, oh. It was a better time back in the day. You didn't have food allergies or attention deficit. You were just itchy and stupid. You young people have no idea. I see some really young people in here, just like walking fetuses. Everything is awesome to you in your world. You don't even miss the good old days. Oh man, these are your good old days. But when I was a kid, it was the struggle. The struggle was real. We had encyclopedias. You have an app or a website. We had encyclopedias. Do you understand what that is? It's a wall of books. A wall of hardcover books. And you didn't go to the store and get it. It was some unlucky asshole's job to go door to door carrying this wall of hardcover books. Ring a doorbell. Do you want an encyclopedia? We already bought some. Mother. All right. You have no idea. Things were so much better back in the day. Like when you checked into a hotel, they gave you a key. I'm talking about a key. A metal shard with jagged edges, only on one side. You knew which way was up and you put it in correctly on your first try. Now you check in, they give you that stupid credit card shaped piece of bullshit plastic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's your fault, maybe it's this thing's fault. Nobody knows. So like a dumbass for a half an hour, you're at your door trying 72 different permutations of card in the hole, none of which seem to work. You even shake it like that might start it up again. Then you have to go to the front desk and tell the guy that, hey, my key doesn't work. And he taunts you. Did you put it in your wallet? Of course I did. Look, it goes right in there. Well, that demagnetizes it. Oh. Well, how about don't make my key shaped like the thing that goes in my wallet? Maybe you make my key shaped like a hat. Guess where it goes? On my head. Ugh. Okay, the good old days. You have no idea. Back in the old days, this is how I know I'm getting old. I hate the music of today. Ugh. Used to be you turned on the radio, and that's how big radios were, young people. You turned it on. You had to have two of your friends help you carry your radio down the street. Like, oh, this is good training for in case we ever want to sell encyclopedias. And you turned on your radio and you heard bands with human musicians in them. They played instruments and did things called songs. It's not, yeah. Now everything's generated by computer. It's horrible. Have you heard dubstep? Ugh. Sounds like robots getting raped, right? Why? So you're at a rave or some other terrible place where they're cranking out this shitty music way too loud and your ears are bleeding and you can't have fun because they assault your other senses with lasers, weapons-grade lasers in the nightclub nowadays. Just, oh my God, my eye, why? Then they turn on the blinky strobe lights just to give everyone epilepsy in the nightclub. Hey, hi. My name is Paul. Do you have a spoon? And then they turn on the glow in the dark lights. Ugh, and I've watched enough CSI to know I don't want my secret stains revealed. still like some of the modern music. I love Eminem. I think Eminem is the world's greatest motivational speaker. If you take out the homophobia and hatred of women, that's great. That's great. But I'm fully convinced that the chief architect of the upcoming apocalypse is Taylor Swift. With her inane music, idiot-friendly music. She lures people to her concerts by the thousands and then converts them into even stupider people. She does this little gesture with her hands. I heart you. I heart all of you. And like the sheep that they are, they're like, we heart you too, Taylor. Well, maybe I paid attention in school, so I know that the human heart doesn't look like that. It's the size and shape of a closed hand. So Taylor Swift, I fist you. Because I know I'm getting old too. I noticed the change in lawyer commercials on television. Used to be all they were interested in was, were you injured in an accident? Then they realized there's money on the other side of that coin, so they're like, did you injure someone in a DUI accident? They stuck with that for years. Then they shifted their gears recently and started asking some weird shit. Do you have mesothelioma? What? What is mesothelioma? Do I have it? Can I sue? What is it? I like miso soup. Is it like miso? Then I heard this weird ass commercial recently. Do you have transvaginal mesh? What is transvaginal? What? What is a transvagina? Is that a Michael Bay movie? It's a vagina. It's a robot. Vagina bots roll out. I did a very old person thing recently. I saw one of these young guys with the big circle, the big disc in his earlobe, stretching it out, pulling his ear far away from home. You could hear his ear making this noise. And it wasn't his first circle. He had to start with the beginner circle, then the bigger circle, then the frisbee, then the satellite dish that he's rocking. He's getting Game of Thrones right in his head. And one day he's gonna want a legitimate job at a bank or something. You can't just spend your whole life handing out flyers or putting up posters. So he's gonna pop this thing out and the skin's not gonna snap back. That's not how skin works. You're gonna be left with a wobbly appendage on the side of your head. What are you gonna do at the bank with that? Count the money with it? You can't work anywhere. What are your options? Just hang out at the playground and double dutch children into your ear hole. So the old person thing I did is I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, nice earring. And he said, it's not an earring, it's a gauge. And I was like, a gauge? For what? At how bad you are at being an adult? Because you suck. People are like, you got a lot of rage. You must have little man syndrome. Why can't I just be an asshole like tall people? Hardly sounds fair. I'm not a big guy. It sucks, yeah. If your flaw is anything else in this world, you count yourself lucky because you can hide it or fix it, or they'll have a telethon for you. You know, if you're fat, you can get liposuction. If you have bad teeth, you can get braces. If you're ugly, you can get rich. You guys have options. But if you're short, you can only get creative. I met my wife at a dance club. I saw her from across the room. I was like, oh yeah, check it out. So I walked over before I could use my opening line, which was probably gonna be, she stops me, she says, oh my God, I don't dance with short people. So I had to get creative. I was like, I'm not short, I'm far away. It makes me sad. I see a lot of tall dudes here, like this guy. Oh, look at you and your tallness. Oh, how tall are you? 6'5". Holy I could be your penis. Do you know how big you are? "6'5". I wish I was 6'5". I wish I was 5'5". But this has never stopped me from dating tall women. Tallest girl I ever dated, swear to God, 6'1.5". Yeah. And I wanted to have kids with her just so I could have normal-sized children. Instead, my wife is my height. We would be breeding down if we had kids, making Shetland people. Teacup humans. Ugh. Here's why it didn't work out with me and the tall girl, because we couldn't do everything together. For example, we could only 6 to the power of 9. You didn't get the joke? There was only one winner at a time if you don't get the joke. I'd have to be on her end taking care of business and then scurry down for my reward. Like a koala looking for better leaves on the eucalyptus tree. That's my move, the horny koala. This is an expensive town to live in. I don't know how you guys do it in New York City. It's just, I met a policeman who had a side job as a psychic and palm reader. He had a shop called Show Me Your Hands! Some of you were waiting like there was more information to be had. Everybody's looking for money. Let me give you some advice on how to save money in other parts of your lives. For example, I wanted an iPad. I don't have $800, so instead I take my iPhone and I just hold it really close. I used to buy a lot of cologne because it's expensive. Now I stopped. So now I just hug random black guys. Thanks a lot, Shane. You have to be happy with your physical appearance. You can't waste your money on plastic surgery. For example, I wanted anal bleaching. And it's expensive, right? So instead, I tape a poker chip over my butthole. And I squat over a UV lamp, and I make everything around it darker. Ha ha! You guys are a slow crowd, but a happy crowd. You're slowly putting all the pieces of information together in your own head and shocking yourself. That's awesome. I don't know what it is you guys do in your life. Tall guy, what is it that you do with your tallness? An engineer, yeah, just building taller things. You can do whatever you want in your life, but you have to be specific what you ask the universe for. When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Batman. And then ta-da! Now I work at nights and nobody knows who the f*** I am. It's a difficult job. People don't realize it, how difficult it is to be a comedian. All these rules you have to follow. You can't do cancer jokes, ever. Rape jokes are inappropriate, always. Menstruation jokes are not funny, period. You guys have no idea. It's not even one of those things most kids want to be. When you're a kid, you want to be an astronaut or a fireman, but you never saw an astronaut, you only saw firemen. So you waved at them, "Hi, Mr. Fireman," and they'd wave back at you, "Hello, kid," bing, 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 brrr. And like, oh my God, he said hello, he said hello. I still get excited when I see fire trucks. When there's an emergency going on, I wait around because it's awesome. The engine, woo, the ladder truck, woo, the paramedic truck, woo. And sometimes at the end of the parade, you'll see the fire sedan go by. Just a 4-door car with a red light. Woo! Who was that asshole? Get ready with everyone else and hop on the truck, fire diva. Sometimes you'll see that car all by itself. No trucks, just the car. Woo! Where's he going? To a really small fire emergency? Like when you eat pizza right out of the oven. Call the guy. And he has to pull up. Woo! Spit it out! It's a fun job. You get to travel a lot. I was in Afghanistan for a whole month last year doing shows for the military. And nah. It was for the Taliban military, but you know, they work hard too. It's got a good laugh over there. You actually laugh like it's spelled ha ha ha. Ha. When you pass gas, does it go like this? Fart! Does it make that noise? You're very onomatopoeic. That's awesome. I was in Australia last year doing shows, which is a nice country, but they're a little bit mean there. They like to play a trick on you called, "We're gonna make you eat that Vegemite." If you've never had it, you have no idea how horrible a prospect this is. It's nasty. I don't know where they get it from. It doesn't even look good. But the guy tricked me. He said, "Paul, we're gonna get you to eat some Vegemite." And I was down with the plan because I grew up in the 80s listening to Men at Work. And that guy was happy as f*** about it. He gave me a Vegemite sandwich. So I was like, "Yes, sir, bring me a Vegemite sandwich." He brought out a big jar of Vegemite and some bread. Now, how I make sandwiches, my tall friend, is that I take a big jar of mayonnaise and some bread, and I just put the mayonnaise, a big shovelful of it, blah, right on the bread, spread it around. That's what I did with the Vegemite, just a big scoop. I put my back into it, picked it up, put it on the bread. And then I put half the bread into my mouth and clamped down. And then my asshole left, and it took off running. And it was like, "I'm not sticking around for this shit," and it left. I don't know if you've ever seen an asshole run away, but it's very awkward. It has to do that expand and contract thing. Like a calamari space invader. I was in Indonesia doing shows last year. If you love coffee, go to Indonesia. Oh my God. There's a coffee there called Kopi Luwak. They grow it in the mountains. Jungle cats come up to the coffee tree. They'll eat the coffee berries off the tree, digest the bitter outer coating off in their stomach, and then excrete it. Then Indonesian farmers will come up, they'll find it, they'll clean it up, they'll roast it, and it's the smoothest, most powerful coffee you'll ever have in your whole life. One cup, I usually takes me a cup of regular coffee to get going in the morning to get me alert and get my plumbing working. Holy moly. Just a half a sip of the Kopi Luwak. Just bang, and I was wide awake and had to shit. Just everything's just coming out. And all I could think was, I hope the cycle ends here. I didn't need an Indonesian behind me sweeping up. Keep going, sir, keep going. It's gonna be good. If you don't like fun, go to Singapore. It's horrible there. You know what's everything's illegal there. Chewing gum, pornography, homosexuality. I was dying to know what happened to cause all this ruckus there. They'll throw you in jail for chewing gum. Yeah, with the killers and the murderers. And you can't be tough if that's your crime. Your cellmate is standing over your bed. I killed a family of 12 with my finger. Why are you here? And if all you have to say is, juicy fruit, then you'll be the happy bride at lights out. How'd that even get to be a law? Like when they were translating the laws from the West, where they're like, what did he say? Gun control or gum control? Are you guys from Singapore? What brand of Asian are you? What's that? Vietnamese? Oh, sorry. No, that's a good kind of Asian, right? I don't mean to sound racist. Do you know who's the most racist people in the world? Probably Chinese people. Chinese people don't even like Chinese people. They always differentiate between the different kinds of Chinese people, and they hate each other completely. I had a Chinese guy surprise me, not like jump out of the bush, but like. But in conversation, asking an unexpected question, he's like, "Hey, are you ABC?" I'm like, what is that? He goes, "Are you American-born Chinese?" I'm like, "No, I'm NCAA." And they're like, "What is that?" "They're not Chinese at all." I was in South Africa for 2 weeks doing shows. It's amazing. They got rid of apartheid, but racism is still hella prevalent in South Africa. To this day, they only have 2 categories for people in South Africa, white and black. Guess what I was for 2 weeks? That's right, I was black. It was liberating. I could show up late to everything and talk in the movies. So awesome. Here's what I noticed about the world, though. A lot of the flags are different. Like Great Britain has their flag. I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of countries still have Great Britain's flag in the corner of their own flag. That was your ex. Let it go. I've dated some shitty girls. I'm not tattooing the picture of their face in the corner of my face. Let it go. I think this is why people hate America around the world. Trust me on this, not a lot of people like America. It might be because of our flag. It's very difficult. You got to know the rules and the legends of the flag. 13 stripes, 13 colonies, 50 stars, 50 states. And then some idiot in California wants to break it up into 6 states, which means we're going to have to add more stars, and we can't do it. Have you seen the blue box? We're f***ing full. You can't. Manifest destiny. God gave us this much rectangle, and we filled it up. What are you going to do, add flag, just stars all around the flag? You can't do that, because the more difficult your flag is, the shittier your country gets. That's just science. I don't know if you've seen Ecuador's flag. What a terrible country in Ecuador. Their currency is devalued and worthless. Side note, they use American money. However, here's what's on their flag. An axe, a bird, and 4 more flags of Ecuador. What the f***? So depending on how close you get to the flag of Ecuador, you might see up to 17 flags of Ecuador. And it's a shitty country. Haiti? Oh, don't get me started on the country of Haiti. Not a very nice place to be, but here's what's on their flag, okay? 6 rifles, 6 bayonets, an axe, 2 cannons, and 6 spears. Holy shit! I know it's a dangerous country, but is it that hard to draw cholera and crime on your flag? Too far? Haiti is too far to walk, sir. You're right, it is too far to walk. Samoa, oh my God, riddled with poverty in Samoa. You know what's on their flag? An eagle. They don't have eagles in Samoa! Why not put other shit that does not exist in Samoa on your Samoan flag? Like literacy. Or petite women. Put that on your flag. I have 30 more minutes of flag jokes, you guys. I did these series of jokes in Malaysia, in December, and a Malaysian guy came up to me and said, here's why America sucks, because your flag is too complicated. And our flags look almost identical. We have red and white stripes and a little box, blue box with stars and stuff. He says, your flag has too many stars. We have one star and the moon. And I was like, oh, awesome, Malaysia. You put the moon on your flag. Oh. We put our flag on the moon. That's the kind of shit you can do when you're the best country in the world. And I think that's why a lot of people hate our country. That, by the way, that is the American moon up there. I don't care what country you're from. Take a look at the moon. That's ours. That's our shit. That's the 51st state. All right, we left trash and used cars on it. It's basically Alabama Part 2. That's our shit. Then I heard India was launching a probe to our moon. India? What the f***? And then I had to calm down and rationalize it, like, you know what, maybe it's our probe, and we outsourced it. Because we're short on money as America. We are short on money. So you know whose fault it is with the money? It's the old generation's fault. Not even my generation, my parents' generation. They were horrible with money, terrible. Like, my dad grew up poor, horribly poor, but he scratched and clawed his way up to broke and then had kids. And he would always lecture us on how things could be. Like, we would eat the body of the fish like normal people would. My dad would suck the eyeball out of the head. Oh, you want the other one? And we're always like, no. That's when he'd lecture us. That's the best part. We would eat crab legs. My dad would drink that thing in the head. Do you want some? No. That's the best part. When I was a kid, they caught the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, the guy who ate all his victims, but he kept their heads in the freezer. When that was on the news, I looked at my dad to see if he'd yell at the TV, "That's the best part!" Plus, I grew up in Hawaii, which meant we ate a lot of Spam. And no one likes Spam. You don't even know what part of the pig is the Spam. That's probably what it stands for, strange pig's ass meat. It's right on the can. You can't even get it out of the can for half an hour after you open it. You're shaking it, nothing's coming out, but you're hearing that weird farty, queefy noise, just sort of. Boom. And you still can't eat it because it's covered in that weird pork lubricant looking mess. So I scrape it off with a knife. I'm about to throw it out. And my dad's like, "That's the best part!" You put it on toast. Ugh. My dad was weird. I could also never tell how racist my dad was. I know what you've been told, but everybody's racist. It's just a question of how racist you are. Whether you're a little bit racist, like Mel Gibson, or a lot like your grandmother. We're all somewhere on this racismometer. My dad he never said anything over the top racist. It was always like weird, cryptic, uncomfortable racism. Like, he sat me down for the race talk once. He said, "Son, there's a lot of different kinds of people in the world, and you have to be nice to all of them, even the Koreans." So all through school, I only dated Japanese girls. That's what you do in a Japanese family. You only date within your Japanesiness. And then I left the house. I moved out. I stayed at the dorm at the college, and I met new people, and I fell in love with this one girl that I wanted to bring home so bad. But I couldn't really because she was a black girl. And I mean, you can in an Asian family, you can, but you have to ease your parents into it. You can't just spring it on them. You have to bring home a Filipino, then a Laotian, then a Micronesian, then a Samoan. You can't just go 0 to 500. But I did, because I loved her. And just to be safe, however, I brought her to a big family party where there'd be lots of witnesses, hoping it would rein in my dad. And it didn't. He saw us coming through the doors, and he's like, "Move, move, oh." "Who's your friend?" And I said, "Dad, this is Kelly." And we kissed. And to my dad's credit, all he did was like, "Oh, Kelly. That doesn't sound like a black girl's name." Which is weird, but it's like bottled water. It either sounds like names hippies would give to their children, like, "These are our kids, Crystal Geyser into Arrowhead." Oh. Or bottled water sounds like names black parents might give their daughters. You know, Dasani, you going to that party tonight? Bring your cousin Aquafina. So my dad, he's got us cornered and the grilling continues. He's like, so Kelly, how come you're not dating black guys? And I knew Kelly was gonna answer honestly because she was an honest person. But you don't want honesty at home. You want to shroud everything behind comfortable, protective bullshit. Not Kelly, honest. Well, Mr. Ogata, it's because the brothers won't go downtown. What the f? Why would you say that? And my dad's like, what do you mean, on the bus? Why wouldn't they go on? It's economical, it's safe. So she tries again, no, Mr. Ogata, it's because the brothers won't take the southern route. He still doesn't get it. What are you talking about? So finally she just has to be blunt, like, no, Mr. Ogata, it's because the brothers won't eat my punani. And my dad's like, that's the best part! Kind of a long way to go, but some of you made it through that joke. That's good. And to see, and I'm sorry, if the black guy up front, if you're offended, and I'm sincere, take a cue from this guy. Take a cue from this guy. Don't ever get offended at things you see in a comedy show. They're just words. Words cannot hurt you, right, bitch? Because ultimately. Sticks and stones, everybody. Yes, we're all playing. Sorry, I'm sorry, sir. Asian midget killed by angry black man at comedy show. Will be in the newspapers. Welcome to my final performance, everybody. You're such a good guy. Oh my God, you're such a good sport. I hope are you in comedy or show business, or you seem like you understand what goes on here? What's that? You're pretty versed. Well, how Shakespearean of you. I've never had this happen in a conversation before. Lay on, good sir, I am quite versed. You're my favorite person ever, man. Like the engineer behind you, not having a good time, clearly. But you, awesome. Like, what's your avocation? What do you do? When you do this as you explain your job, I'll do photography, and that tells me it has nothing to do with photography. Like, well, it's how many jobs what's that? Is this my only job? Yes, it is. Wait, whose show is this, sir? Try to Jedi mind trick me into. It'll be you'll be up here, and I'll be selling flowers at the airport. I'm like, wake up! What happened? You are slick. You are one slick guy, man. So photographer. Did you always want to be a photographer? A little bit, just like with tiny cameras. I will set this in the women's restroom. It's okay. It's all right. It's man. So you wanted to always be a photographer? It's just one of the things that I don't like that you talk to me with the pimp hand in the air. I don't. It's a black thing. All right, okay, sir, thank you. You know, talk as much as you want. You're not getting IMDb credit on this. You know that, right? Holy shit. You made me need a drink of water, my friend. I'm afraid you're gonna come up and take over the show at this point, and my fragile ego can't handle that. Well, that's good. Don't ever let anybody tell you what you are or what you cannot be, all right? That's some bullshit. And by the way, that's what they do. They control us by labeling us. And when I say they, I mean the Illuminati. That's what they do. They say, you're a red state, you're a blue state, fight. You're a man, you're a woman, you're Republican, you're Democrat, you're conservative. You know what? Don't fall for it, all right? Here's what they do. While we're fighting over here, they, the Illuminati and the bankers, are looting us and robbing us blind. And then when someone's like, hey, what's going on over there? They're like, oh, look, shiny objects. And we're like, oh. New nickels and quarters, must collect the whole set. Don't fall for the bullshit. It's all labels. In fact, here's what they don't fix any problems. What they do is they rename the old problems and put them back out, hoping we won't notice that it's the same old problems. We don't have illegal immigration anymore. We have undocumented workers. Where did they go? Problem solved. I was at a casino and there was a brochure that said gambling is a terrible disease. No, it's not. I've never banged a hooker and come down with blackjack. I better fold. That's never happened. Maybe you've heard this one. Obesity is an epidemic. No, it isn't. You know what fat is? Fat is natural. You don't have to do anything, and fat f***ing happens. You know what's unnatural? Abs. It's horrible. You have to try real hard to get them. Most people don't even get them. They're like, 78, 79. And their veins are ready to explode. Try this. Go past a pizza place. I know it's hard to find in this city. Look in the window. People aren't even trying to get fat. They just are. And they're loving it. Oh my God, pizza. It's like an arrow pointed into my face. Oh my God. And it's not even an epidemic. If obesity was an epidemic, your fat friend could cough on you. Hey, Paul. You're like, that was rude. I can't believe you. Oh my God. And you have to call into work. Even my phone is fat now, I guess. Hello, I can't make it today. The fat is going around. And even then, your boss is like, are you fat for real? Sounds like you're using your fat voice. And you're busted. We're like, okay, I was using my fat voice. I'll see you at 9. I hate being an engineer. I'm not even convinced all the problems we think are real are real. Last year, a lady wanted me to do a Christmas party for the California Tourette's Foundation. Yes, that one. But she threw this at the end. Can you work clean? It's a family show. Wait a minute. That's not fair. I can't be doing my cleanest material, but the audience is like, nipple clamp, pussy fart. I can't talk to people in the crowd. I can't be like, what is your job, sir? You're like, well, I'm a ball sack. Is that even a real disease? Do other countries get it? Because it seems conveniently American. I've never been south of the border and people are like, ¿Dónde está el chinga tu madre? Here's how you know Tourette's is bogus. Because if it was real, everybody would get it. Everybody would get Tourette's. Not just speaking people. Deaf people would get it too. And you'd see them at the shopping mall like, they're the really big sale. And they'd have to apologize to all their friends. I am so sorry. Sometimes my Tourette's take over, and I can't help it, but... good to see who's not laughing at that joke and see if I can outrun him after the show. Hope you find somebody in this life that works out well with you in every way. My wife is, we'll be celebrating our 13th wedding anniversary in 2 weeks, which is, no. You don't know her, shut up, you don't know her. I want my marriage to last forever, forever. So I asked my grandmother for advice, because she was married to my grandpa for 57 years before my grandpa one day, shot himself. 5 times, bang, 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 and then, right in the face. I'm kidding. He hung himself right in the kitchen. He was naked, so we're unsure what his motives were. Here's what my grandmother said: compromise. Because sometimes you gotta do what the woman wants to do, I guess. And then the other times you get to do what the woman needs to do. You have choices. Classic example of compromise. Summer Olympics were in China, and I wanted to get a big flat screen TV so I could watch the Chinese cheat in high definition. And they went out of their way to cheat. Remember the gymnastics squad they brought out, the little tiny girl? I was like, dude, she's so young, right? That was actually her name. She's so young. It's a fact. Look that up. Wouldn't it be great if all their athletes had names that corresponded to their event? How amazing. Now in the pole vault, Jumping Man. Please meet our champion hurdler, run, hop, run. And now our men's synchronized swimming team, two gay guy, over in the pool. So all year long, I told my wife, we need that TV. We need that TV. She kept shutting me down. It's too expensive. So finally, after 4 months of me begging, she broke down and let me get the 80-inch LED 1080p HD TV I was looking for. As a compromise, I'm allowed to watch not a thing. She watches whatever she wants because she has the remote control. She never lets it go. And when she's done, she puts it where I can't get it, like on the top of the fridge. So here's the final bit of advice my grandmother gave to me. She said, Paul, you gotta keep things fresh. And I was like, awesome. What do you mean? She said, in the bedroom, hee hee hee. And then I vomited. Here's what she said: go to a porn store, an adult store, whatever they call it. You go there. Get yourself a movie on DVD. Don't, take my advice here, don't download free porn. Don't watch streaming porn on the internet for free, because that's how they get you, okay? They track your IP address and they follow you around and record all your secret and dirty kinks and likes. And then one day you're gonna wanna protest against the government like, oh, Obamacare is driving us all bankrupt. And they're gonna go, oh, really? Come here, look at this. It looks like you like transvestite midget hookers. Oh. Healthcare for everybody. So get yourself a movie on DVD, bring it home, watch it with your spouse, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever they're doing on the TV, you do in the bedroom. Now, I'm not that limber. And also, DVD porn is crazy expensive. So here's what you do. Like for the Blu-ray disc, it's $60. I don't have that. I had $5. Here's what the guy sold to me: used foreign porn. From China. And it started with the music. And the Chinese girl is there. Oh, and the Chinese stud walks into the movie. Then he whispers to her romantically. Jesus. And she responds, ah, oh my God. I know, you're like, turn it off. No, I paid $5. I'm gonna watch this whole... Police are at the door. Do you have cats on fire? What are you doing? My grandma said, while you're at the store, get yourself a toy, a gadget, a gizmo, a device, a tool. Now, if you've never gone to one of these stores, here's how they separate the toys. This wall of toys over here, women are supposed to buy to use on themselves. This wall here, men are supposed to buy these things to use on themselves. This wall here, on the women's side, pretty much the same thing, different sizes and colors. Oh my God. On this side is the most bizarre collection of shit ever built by humans. On the top shelf, there's a fake head, just, oh. No, yuck, why? What? Ew. What if I got it and I used it and I really enjoyed it? And now I can only get horny around tired women, right? Oh, let it burn. Quit yawning, you whore. They have everything on this side. Rubber boobs, latex vagina, plastic butthole. You could reassemble Franken-skank if you put it all together. Daddy likes. Then on the bottom shelf, covered in dust, because no one ever bought this, and I swear I'm not making this up, was a rubber hand shaped like this. Just sort of a grippy, grabby, how sad does your love life have to be? For you to resort to a fake somebody else's hand. Because here's the bad news. You have to hold the hand in your hand. It's horrible. It doesn't come with attachments. It's not a magnet. You put the hand on the refrigerator and then you just hump the refrigerator. It doesn't come with helium balloons. You tie it to the hand floats around the house. You try to hump the hand before. Get over here! How does that even work anyway? Are you just at home like, oh, this is boring. Hand me the hand. Oh yeah, it's like a big black part-time photographer hand. Oh, I can use it to talk and everything. Thank you very much, New York City. You're an amazing group of people.